Hey everybody, how's it going today? Hopefully your day is getting off to a good start, or you had a good day if you're watching me in Europe. Really happy to be here with you today. You chose a great topic, which is sowing the seeds of abundance. And I think that's something that all of us can relate to. I'm going to put Apollo down so we can chat because we always want to sort of grow and expand. And, I saw some of the comments when you guys were voting on this about the abundance isn't just going to come to us. So there'll still be some of the inner work that we'll be looking at today, because in order to kind of call things into manifestation, into existence, we have to do some of the inner work. So some of the other topics that I had listed will still kind of fall under all of this today. So don't worry. If you're brand new, first of all, welcome. This is my weekly collective. I do it every single Sunday, schedule permitting, so that we can kind of take a look at the next 7 days to navigate through opportunities and challenges together. Everything that you see in this reading can be used for everyone present. There's one exception, and that'll be the elemental forecast, where I break down fire, earth, air, and water independently. The special topic, which comes towards the end, you can see my whole schedule right here, will be something that you can use at any point in your life where you're trying to bring about that abundance. So special topics tend to have a timeless nature to them. Everything else is very timely and is usually within the next 7 days. If you ever want a deeper dive into what's coming through for this month or next, you can check out all of my monthly readings on my main page. Okay, so the whole schedule is here. I'm not going to walk through everything. I'm just going to say we're going to begin with the channeled messages, and then after that, I'll get into the 7-day forecast. I feel like a lot of you had, it's like you were psychically beaming me all of these things last night. So we're not going to spend as much time on the totem as we are on all of the messages that I was receiving. And basically what I'm getting is that there's a lot of opportunities, and your totem today is going to be the seed, of course, because we're looking at planting the seeds here. But there's so much more to that, and I really think what it was reminding us of is that we're all the magicians. So let's take a look at this right now. I'm going to get the presentation set up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we go, everybody. And like I said, if you just joined, this is for everyone. Couple quick notes before I do this, by the way. In order to participate, if you want to chat with me live here, you can subscribe, and that allows you into the subscriber-only chat. Everybody's welcome. Subscribing is free, and it gives you a benefit like that. Dakota is my moderator today. He can answer any high-level questions or point you in the right direction for my website, etc. If you ever need a reminder of when I'm live, you can check out social media. I know that notifications don't always work here on YouTube, so that's a great way to keep in touch. I saw that we already have a couple of contributions and new members, so thank you to everybody who's given back. I'll make sure to say your name at the very end of the broadcast. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead now and get into today's channeled messages. Okay, let me just pull up the presentation and get started. So today, suffice it to say, there is a lot coming through. The seeds are coming through as a sort of reminder that, as I'll talk about in just a second, we are the magician, all of us. There is sort of a recycling energy that I was picking up on, which I'll talk about in a bit. You may find yourself in a leadership position or in a place where you're seeing things first. I'm going to talk about the importance of communication, and then also this ability to rebound. So that's just a high-level peek of what's coming through. Let's take it piece by piece. So today, because so many different messages were coming forth, I realized that the totem was enough. Like the seed, it's pretty self-explanatory. When I do a traditional monthly reading, a lot of times I'll go really deep into this particular symbol, but I just talked about it actually with like tulip bulbs a few days back. Not necessarily a seed, but a type of organism that allows for something to come back. So a seed to me is potential. And a seed can be any one of the ace cards that we would see, whether it's cups, pentacles, swords, or wands. And which card in tarot has all of them? The magician. And so the magician is powerful as long as he stays focused, believes in his own power, and doesn't get sort of distracted or commit himself to too many things. So we can learn a lesson from the magician. It's the beginning. It's exciting. It can be a little bit overwhelming. And what you want to try to do is one step at a time, just sort everything out. And it also is connected with this time. I never really noticed. You'll see I have Easter lilies behind me. And you even can see the Easter lilies on the card right there at the very bottom. So to me, this is timely. This is a very good card for April. and it is about beginning. With seeds, one thing that you have to remember, and I just knew that I would kind of talk on the fly about seeds, it's to really focus on nurturing it. If you water it once and forget, it's probably not going to make it unless it's like a cactus. If you really want to see something grow, you have to sow the seeds. And so that's why this is really nicely connected to today's messages. And so when I look at the 7-day forecast and even the deeper dive into sowing seeds of abundance, we'll kind of figure out where some of you may be falling short or where you may have opportunities to kind of like nurture and supercharge that growth process. So one of the first messages, I was kind of all night long getting them and trying to tap into my phone so that I wouldn't forget. The first message that I got was this sort of recycling energy. What's old is new again is what I put at the top. But you're looking for something that you already have. That's what Spirit was showing me. And it's possibly something that could be repurposed or that you could give a new life to, which is why I selected the Judgment card. Sometimes we have to look at something and think, oh, that's why I got that. Or, oh, that's why this skill is part of, my education. Now I can apply it. So you're going to cast a new light or a new sort of view onto something, which then allows it to sort of take on the energy that it needs to. What are you going to do this? Well, look around and look within. One of the key cards for taking stock in tarot is the Six of Pentacles because it's weighing options. And also for the Hermit would be another natural choice here. But I think for some of you, you don't have to kind of find more. You just have to shuffle things around. And so to me, Six of Pentacles tells me you have everything. You just have to kind of decide to use it a little bit more wisely or use it a little differently than you have. So whether it's skills, physical items, friendships, and alliances, you have more than you think you have. So the sooner you can figure out how to use that, the sooner the universe can kind of give you some abundance. Because I saw, it was almost like you went shopping in your closet, I said here, or shopping in your garage or your pantry or whatever you want to use to kind of have that as a metaphor. But basically, it's something that you thought you would remember, but you forgot. And when you have it, all of a sudden someone else is like, why didn't I think of that? And look at how much look at how much time you're saving, how much money you're getting, how much is coming to you because you were thoughtful about kind of using something in a different way. It's quite possible that you're in the bleeding edge here rather than the cutting edge. So if you want to try something new, whether it's a new career, something in your life or lifestyle, something at work, a problem-solving sort of thing that we're kind of looking at here, other people just may be confused or confounded by what it is that you're trying to bring about. So stay true to it and do whatever you can to make sure that the naysayers don't get in the way. And usually I would ascribe the Four of Cups to someone who can't see it themselves, but a lot of times that can be the other person. You can be the one giving them the cup and they can be the one saying, I don't get it. But if you really truly believe it, they're going to come back later and think, wow, okay, I'm glad you didn't listen to me. Sometimes people have the ability to say that, but even if they don't, know that you'll be happy that you stayed true to that vision that you had for yourself, okay? All right, be discerning. Don't settle for less than the best, less than what you expected, less than what is right. And that's why I put Lady Justice here. I was shown in particular for some of you, there could be a hiring decision or asking someone for help, some sort of a partnership. You may have a deadline or you may have external pressure to make a decision that you don't want to make. If you aren't happy with it right now, chances are things will just be exacerbated later. In other words, made worse. So don't discount that initial intuition or instinct. It's leading you in the right direction. If you feel like you should say no, say no. If you feel like you should say yes, by all means say yes. If you need to, push for more options, push for more time, or simply push back and say no. And if sometimes people just aren't expecting that, say no, I'm not gonna support this. We'll have to try something else. You have more power in this than you realize. And justice can say yes or no, which is why I left the card in the upright position. It's not just about saying no. It's about weighing the options, standing your ground, and really letting people know that that's how you work, okay? Ultimately, you'll be saving yourself a lot of time by doing this. The entrepreneurial energy came through. Rather than going to the sort of de facto emperor, empress sort of energy or any of the king and queens, I put the chariot here. This is really, you can take this in any energy that you want to. It can be middle management. It can be taking control of your life. It could just be deciding to be more accountable for something. But yes, you can still be an entrepreneur with the chariot. It can be a CEO or it can be a middle manager. Someone's looking for a leader. And it doesn't matter what the title is. You have this opportunity to step up and be that leader for someone else, if you want to. If not, you can help get things organized. So organizing, leading, and really kind of making sure that everything is balanced and right is what is coming through with areas of like business, work, and general life. So once you do that, then growth comes through. And that's why it's sort of in your vested interest to make sure that you're doing that. Okay, so let's look at the next card here. Face-to-face interactions are paramount to success right now. So whether it's good news or a difficult conversation or something that stresses you out and you just don't know how to say it, can't get it out of your mouth. If you can do a face-to-face, great. I know we still have restrictions because of the ongoing pandemic, but even telepresence would be good. So being able to do FaceTime, Skype, any sort of live video conferencing is good because people will be able to read your energy. Zoom, of course, because the nonverbals are going to be just as important as your voice. Your voice, let's put it in this direction, and this is where it's going to be most effective. Face and voice together, that's the strongest. Voice, second strongest, because you still get tonality in it, and you can tell if someone is being sarcastic or happy or sad or frustrated. Words are the weakest. Even though I'm a writer and I love words, words can lose context sometimes, and you're not sure what someone's trying to say. So if you have to start with words, make sure you follow up with a phone call. If you can afford to do the video conferencing, do that as well. Read what someone is saying with their body more than what their words are, because if someone says yes, but their body reads no, you can say, I feel like we still have more to talk about. Let me just give you a chance to ask questions, or are you clear on this, or how do you feel about this? Okay, that's going to, again, save you time down the road. All right, the next thing, and this is exactly what my guides told me. They said the eyes don't lie. So whatever's going on, read the eyes of someone and see, can they maintain eye contact with you? Are they looking at their watch? Are they kind of nervous? Do you sense this sort of frustration? You're going to be able to figure that out, okay? The partnership that is coming through that's going to require this could be love. And I saw sort of like a social engagement where it was an inconvenient time for you because there was a lot going on, but you could also catch the interest in the eyes too. So flirtation will come through that way too. So make sure you're making eye contact. Not only will it help you with this sort of face-to-face negotiation, it could help you find somebody that is interested in you if you're looking for love. It could also help you with the one that you love figure out what's going on. Scheduling is an important piece, and I should have probably just broken this into a separate slide here, but sometimes love comes not when we want it, but when we need it. Sometimes it comes in an inconvenient time because that's when the synchronicity was going to open up. And it's just sort of like the universe saying, we did the best that we could. You're going to be able to take this on right now. You're just going to have to balance things. So that Six of Pentacles will also come in handy here, where you would make time for someone. If you're single and looking, but you're working all the time and you're not opening up time in your schedule or time to be with yourself or time to be healthy, do some of that now, because I feel like there is partnership opportunities that are just on the horizon for many of us, okay? So that's exciting, unexpected. I don't always tune into partnership energy, but that was something that was coming through as I was looking at your collective messages. But all night long, I was seeing all of these new things. So you picked the perfect topic for today, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. Welcome if you just joined. We just talked through the channeled messages. Now we're going to take a look at the next 7 days, taking us from Sunday to Sunday. For this portion, I'm just going to pick the cards. I got a bunch of decks that I haven't used in a while, and I'm going to try to select from them. And then when I get to the special topic, I'll let you choose. So give me a second here. And let's see which one's calling to me. All right. I'm going to use the Wild Unknown for this. It's been a while since I've used that for a 7-day forecast, but I like it. All right, so let's give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through today and across the next 7 days. How's everyone doing today? Hopefully you're doing well. And yes, I did light the candles before we started. I don't always do them live. I just knew we had a lot to go through today, so thanks for asking. If you think that should be a part of every reading, put it in the comments below. I know a lot of times people say my readings need to be shorter or whatever, so sometimes I try to keep it concise. All right, so that's today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday has 2, Friday. This is really the underlying one. Okay. I love this deck. The only reason I don't use it more is the wands and swords tend to get a little confusing, but it is beautiful. And then next weekend. A case in point. You can't always tell what it is because this illustrator didn't put the word swords or wands on things. So sometimes I'm like, come on, make it easier on us. All right, we have in the position for today the lovely Empress card, which is in alignment with all the leadership things that I was talking about. Like I said, it could be Chariot, it could be Emperor, it could be Empress. So today you're being asked to step into the front of the line and say what it is that you want. Say where you stand on something. Some people are just looking to you for a decision. The other thing with this particular card is I love how grounded it is. So, you know, grounding energy and grounding techniques can vary from person to person, but things that can help you kind of get into that practical side of your head, that can include, for instance, a decision to kind of like make a list, to look at, again, the sort of the resources available to you for any sort of situation. You could think to yourself, all right, this is how much I need, this is what I've got, and you can kind of get into that. You can also go out into nature. Sometimes when we spend way too much time focusing on what's in front of us or focusing on our stress, we kind of lose our ability to just sort of be. So what I would say for you is to find a space outside or in life where you can decompress. Trees are a fantastic vehicle for that. So for some of you, if you can get out into a public park, even into I live in the city. In the city, we have trees right in front of my place. There's no like lovely rolling sort of like fields or whatever, but there's a tree there and you can actually just lean against the tree, take a few deep breaths. No one's going to wonder what you're doing. People do that all the time. If there's a bench by a tree, sit down, touch the tree if you want to. You can almost imagine it like a lightning rod where it grounds whatever stress that you have, whatever energy that you have. And always just realize sometimes your own breath is an offering to the tree. So you can say, in exchange for helping me ground and put this energy back into the planet, I'll offer you the gift of my air and breathing, and you're feeding the tree and the plants and everything around you. So there's a symbiotic relationship. Get out into nature. Long story short, whether it's snowing or whether it's sunny, it doesn't matter. Nature is going to be a really important piece to your peace of mind, okay? There could be issues with parents that come through whenever the Empress card is there. It can be mother-father energy or boss energy. So you may be resolving some of that as well. Today is a good day to be the boss, to just get stuff done. Nothing bad. So I feel like Sunday is great. As we look at Monday, interesting energy with this. We have the Fool in reverse. The Fool card in and of itself it has the number 0, so it's a mental reset. But it's also sometimes this feeling of like, if I don't get some space, I'm going to lose my patience or my focus or whatever. The Fool in reverse can be walking away from something. It could also be someone in your life that's acting the fool, and you have to figure out how not necessarily to meet that energy, but to sort of like lead by example or inspire that person to sort of like to be more mature. So be the mature one on Monday, get the space and the peace of mind that you need. And remember, like this little tiny chick here, the bird, you're not going to necessarily learn to fly the first time that you do it. So if you make a mistake or if you outright don't succeed on something, then evaluate and think, what did I learn? Is there something I can do better? Do I need some support? And don't rush things, because we can see here that this bird is not ready necessarily to go to the finish line, but it is ready maybe for the first step. So Monday is a day of first steps, and it's a day to be kind to yourself, kind to others, because those steps can take time to master. Okay, so you're in the right sort of direction, you're on the right path, but Monday, be patient with yourself, okay? Other things that I would associate with the Fool. There may be a small trip or a getaway that you need. There may be, like I said, just needing to separate yourself from something that's causing stress so that, again, you can benefit from some of the grounding that you did on the weekend, okay? We have the Queen of Wands here on Tuesday. One last thing with the, a very important thing, actually, when I'm looking at Monday. If you want to get a commitment to something, it's going to be difficult. There are 3 cards of commitment that I kind of focus on. There's many, actually, but an Ace of Pentacles is fantastic. A 2 of Cups, that's pretty darn good. The Lovers, even better. The 3 of Cups means you're shopping around. The Fool means I don't want to make a decision, basically. And if you were dating, this would be like one date and done, or you date when you want to, but there's no promises, it's very non-committal. So if you need to get something done, I think what Monday would be is more of a casual conversation, maybe just sort of like floating an idea out there. Brainstorming would be better, but landing on a decision, probably difficult. Instead, I would try to do that on Tuesday. We have the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands can do almost anything that she puts her mind to. And the reversed Queen of Wands is a force to be reckoned with, just like the reversed Queen of Swords, because she can sometimes push a decision out there, and it's almost like steamrolling through the room. You want to be mindful of this, however. You don't want to close down conversations or feedback or constructive criticism, because in the long run, that could cost you time. So because someone could be trying to save you from something. I like that we see a snake on this card. It is an extreme symbol of power. Notice that she's guarding her eggs there. So some of you may be really protecting something that you care about, and I support that. You may need to still be open to, in order for that to grow or to prosper, for, again, that feedback or that advice. So just pick and choose very clearly and very sort of, I would say, with distinction, who it is that you want to kind of bring into your life. Be discerning, and then that's okay. You can't do it all alone. The Queen of Wands wants to, but it helps to have someone that you can truly trust. So just vet out your options, basically, okay? Other things to think about for Tuesday. If someone's not listening, you might have to just take charge and do it. You might need to delegate. It is a good day for basically leading, fixing, working through things. Queen of Wands is magical because she can make things work when no one else can. So this is the day when an epiphany can come through, when a solution can come through if it's been vexing you for a long time, okay? Great day to get things done. We start to see a consensus coming through in the midweek. We start to see clarity coming through in the midweek, and we have the 2 of Wands here. So the 2 of Wands is vision. Vision, that is the key to manifestation. If you have the High Priestess without the 2 of Wands, she's a lot less effective. The 2 of Wands is the understanding, the believing, that vision that I was talking about when other people have the 4 of Cups. I don't know what's going on, or I'm not paying attention. You have the 2 of Wands there, 4 of Cups rather, instead of, so they're in the 4 of Cups, you're in the 2 of Wands. And what you're going to be able to do is hold true to that. It's typically you see someone holding a crystal ball or the world, and they know where they're going. That is so important, because later when people say, are you sure? Or how are we going to do this? Or why? You know exactly how. So do the work, do the planning, and this is a great day to get that planning underway. It's also just a good day to see progress. The 2 of Wands leads to the 3 of Wands, and the 3 of Wands shows that basically something's happening faster than you would imagine, okay? Really productive day. This is when I would get the work done. This is when you can also push for a contractual agreement on something, because both parties are seeing it eye to eye, okay? Great midweek energy. Thursday's interesting. We've got two cards, one that's underneath, one that's on top. We're going to talk about the first one, and then we'll get to the stress of the Nine of Swords here. So we have the King of Swords right on top. King of Swords, one of my favorite cards for communication, for executing on a plan, for also just being a great leader. I love that we have the wise owl on this one. So it's also kind of telling all of us to speak wisely, to use our words carefully, and to understand that they're going to carry, they're going to persist, and it's a legacy of sorts. So you have a potential to make an impact, and what you said will be listened to, whether it's in the short or the long term. What's going to get in the way? Underneath it, we have a really bizarre card here, the Nine of Swords, and you can see like worms and eyeballs and all kinds of things here. And it's kind of like our worst nightmares. So I understand what the artist was going after on this one. Sometimes we focus on all the stuff that freaks us out rather than focusing on all the power, all the potential that we have. So don't let stress get the best of you. Don't let a lack of sleep get the best of you. Don't let fears rule you. However, when we pick up a rock and we see the creepy crawlies, they've always been there. So if there's something that you need to pay attention to it, okay? And when I'm looking at that card too, one of the things that I would get here is stagnation and decay. So if there's something in your life where that stagnation exists, the day to sort of like a do or die day for you is basically on the weekend, on Thursday to take care of this so that you are in a good space by the good energy that we're seeing here on the weekend. So yeah, use your words, stand strong, stand tall. Don't be afraid of what you might be sort of like seeing as a worst case scenario. It's likely not going to happen, but don't ignore fears or criticism altogether. Just talk it out, ask questions. Fears can be assuaged basically by getting more information, okay? This all pays off for you as you come to the end of the week here. So we have the Seven of Pentacles here. It is reversed, but it's still a good card because it shows growth. It's interesting that it's all on a diagonal and we kind of see all of these energies coming together here. So what are we looking at on Friday? Don't overcommit in resources. Be patient with yourself because as you move into something new, the growth will not happen over time. I've talked a lot about the importance of patience when you're like propagating a flower. You'll cut it, you have to first let it sort of like create a scar, and then you can plant it, but then you have to be careful you can't over or underwater it. It takes time for those roots to form. Let me see if I can find it. There's a really cool card here in the Lightseers deck that I think does an even better job of conveying it. But basically, when you're trying something new, when you're on a new path, you always want to give yourself time to reacclimate. If you were a tree and you were transplanted, usually those roots are going to take a couple of months to get to the point that you want them to be. So let me see if I can find this. If not, you'll know what I'm talking about. But you can't rush growth. And I think also with the Seven of Pentacles, one thing that you want to remind yourself of is the mistakes that you made may have cost you some time. But there it is. This is a really beautiful Seven of Pentacles, right? So we see the cutting here of a plant and we see the roots. And instead of being impatient, he's just giving it time, giving it water, giving it some love. And that's really what you need to do to yourself in this period in time, is to be this Seven of Pentacles. This one is a little less illustrative, so I wanted to pull something from the side that was calling to me in my mind, and that's what I remembered. So it takes time, but pretty soon this is going to be a beautiful vine or tree. It just has to put its roots down, okay? So if you've been recently transferred to a new division, if you've just started something new, if something's been taken from your life, a physical object, a person, something like that, it takes time for you to repair and to recover. So namely, what I'm seeing is a very productive day at the end of the week, but be patient with yourself, keep working, focus on the progress, not the loss, okay? We have a fabulous energy coming through next Saturday, the Star card. Even in its reverse state, it's arguably one of the best cards you can pull. And let's make this card upright. First of all, because it really does look like a shooting star here kind of in this illustration, the reversal of this could mean that someone around you is going through a tough time, and you could be seeing their light sort of flicker a little bit. You may also be stepping into big shoes. Let's say that there was someone that you respect at school, at work, in life, and they're deciding to take a step back and just enjoy retirement or do something different. You may be called upon to step into that energy. You may have lost someone in your family, and now you're the new matriarch or patriarch, and it's that same sort of pressure. The good news is the universe never gives you more than you can handle, and you are the star, whether you feel like you're this or this. The truth is you're this. What the star upright is basically is unapologetic, authentic, light, and loving. And the reverse of the star is sometimes diminishing one's light because of fear of stepping on someone's shoes, fear of failure, a lack of internal self-confidence, pressure from external forces to sort of fit into a cookie cutter that is not you. And if any of these things are happening, the star is going to break through that. So be yourself, because all those other things were either fear-based or conditional love or conditional sort of friendship, and your soul doesn't really want to do that anymore with the star card, okay? You're the star. When I spent some time in the UK, I don't know if they still say this, but it was like 20 years ago, but I remember them saying, you're a star. That was my favorite sort of colloquial phrase that they would say. I think we should all feel that star embodiment more often. All right, so we have the Seven of Wands here as we're looking at next Sunday. I love that it's a light in the dark sort of card, right? And what it's saying here is sometimes we don't have to be on the defensive. We just have to be logical. We just have to show a different path. The typical stance for the Seven of Wands would be like this, and then we would see a bunch of wands in front of them. But there's one person sort of saying, I'm pushing back, or I can do all of this. And this one's saying, you don't have to say it. You don't have to prove it. You just have to basically embody that from within. People will see the leadership, the light, and the limits. Know your boundaries and respect your boundaries next Sunday. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice that I could give you. The other thing that I would say with that is you're going to be able to handle anything. Seven of Wands is capable. It just isn't necessarily working. What's the best way that I could put this? As smart as it could. So it's working hard, but you could work smarter whenever I see this one. So if you take one of these wands away, you have success, the Six of Wands. If you add one, you have this nice momentum that you've built with the Eight of Wands. In the middle, you're doing too much. And so what we're seeing here over the course of this week, you know, with today, the energy is showing all of that work that you're doing. 7 days from now, there's a suggestion now that you could give away some of that. You could delegate a little bit. So quick recap, Monday, no commitments, a time to get some space. Maybe you have to walk out of a conversation to avoid an unnecessary sort of argument or something. Give yourself space. Breathing room, non-committal energy, having some fun, playing around a little bit would be good too, doing something that evokes that sense of joy. You can get back to business on Tuesday. You'll be able to probably push your point of view out there, but you may also be met with a very the word argumentative came through, but a very stubborn person. So you'll have to decide how to stand your ground. They're protecting themselves if they are in that sort of energy. So let them know that you have the same common interest, which is, you know, joint well-being. I feel like things get really nice around the midweek. Stuff gets done. You can carry out any sort of wishes that you put in place on Tuesday, and you see a lot of abundance. Fear can step in the way of your ability to communicate, but the ability to communicate is stronger than that. So just ask questions, look at whatever is making you afraid, and once you've done the research and done the work, you'll rise above. Recovery and sort of slow growth is what I see on Friday. So don't expect, don't beat yourself up if everything doesn't get done. Just look at how much you've completed. And then ultimately, all of this is telling you to be yourself, be strong. Next Saturday, do something that's more authentic to you. And the only thing that can kind of like keep you from this sometimes is other people's jealousy. So don't let that get in the way either. And then do some delegation next Sunday, so that you're not overdoing it. Okay? So there you go. So yeah, Monday's not a downer. I like what Jules in July said there. Have some fun. You know, one of the cool things that came through for me once I started to have my own schedule is a day is just a day. It's just a day of the week, right? we put too much pressure on it. That's why sometimes, hopefully the Sunday collectives help all of you not freak out on Sundays. For me, it's just another day that I'm hanging out with some people that I like, and we together work on this. So Sundays don't have to be depressing because you go to work on Mondays. It's still a day that you can do anything that you want to. And now with like working offsite, working from home, or if you can control your own schedule, you realize that weekends and weekdays are constructs. They're all just days. So have a day, make today a day and make it a good day. Forget about if it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's just a day. So free yourself up, and that's really what the suggestion is for tomorrow. All right. Periodically, I like to show us the schedule here. We just went through the 7-day forecast. We're going to take a look now at blessings and blocks. These are things that can really bring us into our power or into the positivity of what's coming through, the blessing at least, and then hopefully help keep us from making a mistake in the case of the block. So I'm just gazing over my shoulder to look at which deck I want to use next because I brought them close to me. I could keep using the same one because it is a beautiful deck, but I'll switch it up a little bit for interest. All right, let's look at Raven's prophecy for this particular one, and let's see what's coming through for blessings and blocks. Thanks again for the super chats, for everybody that's liked and subscribed. I appreciate it. All right, blessing for the week ahead and the block for the week ahead. So interesting since that was what came through in our channel messages here. All right, so we'll start with the blessing. So we have the Knight of Swords, and the Knight of Swords is in reverse. So interesting thing with knights, it doesn't matter which knight we're looking at, they really bring the action forward. This Knight of Swords needs to sort of cut through the red tape, thus we have the scissors on this card, and they may also need to say something that just really gets to the point. So it doesn't matter if the scissors are upright or reverse, it's still going to be something that could be somehow taken the wrong way. So the blessing is it's a mixed blessing. You want to be careful. I feel like you get the chance to just basically cut yourself free from something that you didn't want or need or like. So the easiest way to do this, and it would be super succinct and concise, is just by saying no, or not this, but this. So use as few words as possible, but be very clear in those words. And that's going to help you propel faster than you thought you could. It's going to create this velocity and momentum that you can keep up. And the only thing to be mindful of is to make sure that you are caring about the person. There's empathy in how you deliver it, but there's nothing wrong with being to the point. And that's your blessing. If you keep it short and succinct, a lot can get done. You can cut through the red tape. Okay? As we look at the block, we have the Magician card. It was reversed, but it basically has all the power that I was talking about earlier. And we see all the different signs as tattoos on this particular, or all the different elements rather. So, we have swords and wands and cups and pentacles, and again, the 4 different elements as well. So in reverse, it can say a couple of things. First of all, I'm trying to do everything for everyone. I'm unable or unwilling to accept help. I am basically just trying to do everything and trying to and thinking that I can do it. So there's a little bit of self-sabotage that you want to be mindful of. If someone lends a helping hand and it's authentic and they're skilled and you need the help, that's going to help you get out of this energy of doing too much. So delegate and also accept help when necessary and when appropriate. And then the other thing that I would say is, however you can best focus, do that. Because each one of us needs something different, whether it's to put on a pair of headphones or go for a walk or work in a different room. Distractions could take you out of your sort of magic. So do what you can to be as focused as possible. Okay? All right. So we just went through the blessings and blocks. Now we're going to go into the elemental forecast, where we look at fire, earth, air, and water. So again, giving me a moment to choose a different deck that we haven't used in a while. Okay. Actually, we'll use maybe this one. Okay. So I'm going to use the Field Tarot. By the way, all of these you can find on my website. I'm not going to identify each, and Dakota doesn't know each one of them, so you can always go to my website if you want to look at them. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I'll use this one. All right, we need some space. Okay, so we'll start here with fire, earth, air, and water. And we'll break each one of these messages down, beginning with my fire signs. All right, so to Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This week, you have the Princess of Wands looking here out at the horizon, sometimes looking at the sort of mountains of work to do in front of her and wondering, how am I going to do this? What's going to go on here? So I would say for many of you, first of all, I'd like to commend you on being able to just kind of get organized, which was one of the messages that we talked about earlier. Look at the small print on this card, though. It says exploration. I think that a hidden card to this one for fire signs out there would be the Seven of Cups and the Fool energy, which we actually did talk about a little bit here. So we'll partner her up with the Fool, which is saying, all right, I know I got to get all of this done, but I really want to give this a chance. I want to spread my wings a little bit here and see how this feels. So give yourself time to play in that virtual sandbox and think, how would this look? How would this feel? Also to try on different personas, because a lot of times we feel like we're stuck in a single cookie cutter, and remembering again that the whole energy for the week ahead is hopefully getting you into this ability to be the star upright. So don't think yourself into a corner. This is a powerful card that it's a natural sort of connection for fire. So you're showing up as yourself, which is good. But those mountains in the horizon there could seem like they're bigger than they are. Many of you know I like to hike. Whenever I hike a small hill or mountain, and I'm not doing Everest, I'm doing the local LA ones, but it always seems like this is going to be too hard. But typically I just start to pay attention to the flowers on the side of the trail. I look at maybe a squirrel or a bird, and I distract myself by nature as I'm walking. And then pretty soon I'm like halfway through. And then I think, well, why would I turn back? Let's just finish this. I can do this. So that would be my advice for you, is to just start the journey and keep looking at the little things that are inspiring you and making you feel very connected to it. Explore some different, detours along the way, but ultimately you're going to get up that hill and all the other hills that you see in front of you, okay? It's a really good day for you to send and receive, because the princess is, of course, a page. So sending and receiving messages, you're at your maximum potential right now, okay? So stay open, be open. You can also step into the role of mediator or even like therapist, where you can help someone see it from different perspectives. So I really like where your headspace is this week, and you're poised to do well in negotiations and to finish things as long as you don't look at how overwhelming they seem, okay? So pretty strong week ahead for fire signs. The only thing, if I had to pick one thing that I'd like, if we're gonna go to court cards, I'd rather it be a knight or higher. So I would say don't underestimate your potential. But it's got to start somewhere, and this one is saying, yeah, but I need to write it out, I need to explore, I need to solicit some feedback. Okay, so pretty good energy coming through for fire signs. Moving on to Earth, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You are in this sort of like shift of energy, shift of attention, shift of focus. So the card was the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups in the reverse state. But the Five of Cups is always opportunity in disguise. Different artists will choose to either put the 3 or the 2 cups up or down. So this particular card showed the 3 in the upright position. So you have potential right now to shop around and look at new things. 3 of Cups to me is having fun with people, socializing, dating, considering new things. There's a little bit more commitment than there is with the with the Fool card, but there's still openness. So my message from Spirit to you is you're free to decide, like that old Cranberry song. You're free to decide, and you're able to look at it from a different perspective. And instead of focusing on what is lost, focus on what you've discovered, what is found, and what remains. No matter how you cut it, whether it's 3 or 2 cups, that's support, that's love, that's options. So you have all of that if you choose to embrace it. There is mourning that is important and is a part of this particular card, but it's the least of the mourning cards. I would say it's much more challenging to get through things like death or judgment or the Tower or Six of Swords, anything that could, or even Four of Swords. So this one is, as it said, I'm a little disappointed in something, but wow, I've got a lot that I can do. I'm not stuck. And I like that she's looking out at the cosmos in front of her. It's a clean slate. So for Earth signs, for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, reset the expectation on Monday, since we got the Fool for Monday. And that's going to help you feel this sense of invigoration, okay? And also going into the blessing message, cut out whatever wants to sort of exit your life. It's going to be all right. Great energy for all my Earth signs. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to talk about with this. I think that's it. I think it's just really a shift in your mental processing. So just decide this week, that's done. I'm not maybe thrilled about that, but look at what's in front of me and look at what I can do. And I'm going to use my inner magician energy, and I'm not going to feel blocked. I'm just going to reach out and go for it. Okay? Let's move on to my air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. You've been working hard, haven't you? So we have the Four of Swords. Some of you are getting a long and well-deserved chance to rest and relax. Some of you may have increased visions and or experiences, sort of metaphysical development in your sleep. Sleep is paramount. So please, please, please give yourself time to rest this week, whether it's legitimately getting more hours of sleep or deciding that you're going to do a little less extracurricular activities, whatever it is, please pull back a little bit. It's going to allow you to be healthier, happier, and make better decisions. Speaking of the different levels of release, the Six of Swords versus the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is kind of like if you've ever scratched yourself and there's like a scar that has nearly faded. It's the fading energy that's going on. So for some of you, if there has been something difficult in your life that you had to let go of, or if you just stepped into an adjustment, let's say new job, new house, new neighborhood, something of that nature, or new relationship. Everything at the beginning is a little bit intense, but day by day, week by week, month by month, it becomes your new normal. So I see a new norm sort of setting in for all of you. There could be a little bit of lethargy, sort of a lack of momentum or inspiration. So if you're feeling that malaise or that sense of like, what am I doing? Please, as we talked about earlier, have some fun. You're overdue. I don't care if it's just deciding to call in sick and see a movie or go to the museum or take a walk or spend the day with your dog, by the way. Apollo behind me. Because that's the energy of the Fool too. So pets and animals can help you out. But do something I feel like you need a valve release here of all the pressure and the stuff that you've been working through. So rest and sleep and play and fun, and also see what comes in the quiet moments. If you've been stuck, let's say you've been working ridiculously hard, if you can just get a good night's sleep and then maybe take a day off, all these solutions will start to come to you. Your brain is just taxed out. So I want all of my air signs out there to take care of themselves, take it easy, work hard, of course, as always, but like, don't overdo it. Like, I feel like if anybody deserves a vacation, it's you. So take a break. All right. It'll be all right. And everything is in this sort of easing phase. So whatever you just got through, whether it was last year, last month, or yesterday, this week is more palatable. So that's the silver lining for what you're going through. Looking at the water signs out there, you came through also as yourself here. We have the Prince of Cups. I love the peaceful energy in this particular prince. He's open. A lot of times we see a knight riding on the horse. The journey can be an inner journey. It can be kind of going into the realms of our psyche. It can go into the realms beyond the beyond. And so you're a creative vessel this month more than anything. And there's some rapid movement when it comes to the development of your heart space, of your relationships, a great time for love for all of my water signs right now. And also just understanding things, introspection, that's the key right now. So focus on knowing yourself, knowing what you want, and trusting what comes through. Going back to my channeled message earlier with the Four of Cups, you are the one here that's holding the vision, but there's a bunch of other people that are in that Four of Cups energy. So midweek, don't be surprised, particularly my water signs out there, if there's just this flood of creativity that comes through, okay? It's a good week since you came through as yourself. The only thing that I would say here is to use the introspective energy to help you navigate any challenges in your life. So if someone's acting like a fool, which could be Monday, go within and think, is it me or is it them? Or how often does this happen? And before I say something, is this going to trigger them? Think before you speak, weigh out the emotions. But I actually feel like it's going to be a fantastic week for you. It's very hard for me to find warning signs here. Some of you may just be dealing with some heavy issues, but you are going to rise above. You are going to have a great week ahead. And it is a good time for love and partnerships, particularly for the water signs. Okay? So great energy across the board. And if I were just to kind of look at common threads across all of these, we have perspective as we looked at the energies of fire and earth, not getting overwhelmed, and then not beating yourself up too much. Then we have rest and sort of tranquility when we look at the air and water signs. So we have balance here, basically. Not getting your head in the wrong space and letting your heart really kind of focus on what needs to be there. So most of us have placements across the different elements, so it's nice to kind of see them all together, which is what I just did. All right, let me see if I missed anything. I think we're going to do reader's choice next. Readers and viewers' choice, yes. So let's take a look at this. I feel like I can, well, before I clear the table, we'll keep everything here so I can make some decisions based on what's in front of us. So typically, I'll throw out a few things for you to vote on as far as topics, and then I'll take a look at some of the topics here and see if there's something that calls out loudly to me. All right, so let me kind of let you see what I'm doing on the table, and we'll talk about some options here. So this will be visible if you're watching live and you're looking at it on a desktop or a mobile device. You need to be able to see chat to be able to vote. I'll let you know when the vote is live. All right, or the poll is. All right, let's take a look real quick here. We're going to do a viewer's choice, and let's take a look at some things that are coming through. So I mentioned earlier the importance of focusing. So definitely with the Magician, I want to take a look at how to stay focused / avoid distraction. Who couldn't use that? And I can't put the whole word distraction. So I'm just going to say how to stay focused. All right. I also think it could be really valuable to look at how to delegate. How to delegate and manage stress, since we had the sort of creepy crawly card there with the Nine of Swords. So how to delegate and manage stress, super important as well. I'm going to take on the mantle of the Star card in reverse because I think that one's super important. So we'll look at that one. That'll be reader's choice. So this channeling energy here that I was picking up on water signs and also midweek, I think would be really great too. So how to be a clear channel. Okay. And so let me just see, I think I've got everything ready. Make sure that let's see why it's not allowing me to ask it. Okay, that's why, how to remain a clear channel. All right, I'm sending it off for you to vote on now. I'm gonna clear the table while we're talking, and then I'm going to take a look at the star energy, which is something that was calling to me. I'm going to use a Druid Craft one for this because it has a lovely earthy green energy to it, and it's one of the ones that I'll put up for vote a little bit later. All right, so let's take a look here. We're going to look at how to flip that star in the upright position and really own your power. So no big surprise here. We've got the Six of Pentacles, which came through, which is very much connected to what I said in the channel message earlier. And the key thing with this, you can't make everyone happy. It was a lesson that took me a long, long time to learn. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much research you do, no matter how well you actually create something or embody something or do something, there's always going to be someone out there that says, I could have done that better. You should have done this. There's always an armchair critic, right? So don't take that personally. Don't let that hold you back from trying. And also, when you do what you want to do, taking into consideration what is important to your soul and to your path as well. So this is saying, I am a mortal channel. I am strong. I am capable. And I'm going to do the best that I can do. And I know that at the end of the day, the best that I can do is enough for me and is enough for my guides and my higher self and God and the universe. None of us are complete embodiments of like God. We are learning through that sort of energy. So we're all working on ourselves. So give yourself the time, the energy, and the space to grow, and know that as long as you are growing, then you are doing exactly what you need to be doing, okay? So don't put so much pressure. Don't try to make everyone happy, and choose where you can grow the most and use that to step into your star energy. Let's take a look at what is in the lead here. We have a really clear leader, which is how to remain a clear channel with 45% of the poll there. So thank you for voting. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the energy of that. So how to be a clear channel, how to allow all that to come through. Okay, that one just fell out, but I'm going to pull an extra one just to also see what's coming through. Or you're going to be successful no matter what. That's what I see with the two of these cards. I'm just reading it again. How to remain a clear channel. All right, so let me read it in that fashion. So the card that the universe flipped out for you was this. And I'm now getting like the Queen and David Bowie's song Under Pressure in my head. But the 10 of Wands, if you could put one caption underneath it, it would be under pressure. But you're very close to completing a task or to completing something that's really important to you. So one thing that the universe wants to tell you, no matter what your question is or where you're at, is you are nearly there. You have come this far, and you've done more than enough to receive and to execute and to complete what it is that you need to do. Don't put unnecessary pressure on yourself, because that pressure in and of itself can actually block the channel, okay? And you don't need or want that to happen, because basically that gets in the way, okay? So also again, I feel like the light's at the end of the tunnel. So just push through another week, another day. You'll be surprised at how far you can go and what happens. Now we get the card that I pulled to answer this question, which was the Six of Wands. Success is yours. Success is en route, but I would say one of the things that you need to focus on is to realize that success is empty if it isn't something that is fulfilling, is authentic, is for you. So if you decided to, do something for your parents, get a certain degree of study at school, and you do it and you work that path, but every day you think to yourself, when is it going to be 6 o'clock? I'm so tired. I don't like this. That is empty success. If you're getting a lot of money and a lot of titles and all this stuff, but you don't have time to spend with the people that you love, and time passes by, that's empty success. Six of Wands is saying, choose your success for yourself. Each one of us gets to decide. It's actually a very subjective term, success, right? And it's subject to our own lenses, our own training, our own conditioning. So remove some of the conditioning and go into the heart space and feel it out. Some of you are stepping into something. The whole question was about channeling. You've been shown a path from your higher self, from your third eye, from your meditations, of what is best for you. It may be in complete conflict with what is expected of you. So your journey for these two go together as well, is coming to an end. You prove to someone, all right, I did that. Now you can focus on, now I want to follow through and do what I want to do. So you don't have to prove yourself anymore. Just open up, receive, and follow through on that. And success will follow suit. That's the message that I got for this. Peer pressure, family pressure, societal pressure, these are the things that get in the way. external lenses get in the way, it would be like me putting on 3 or 4 pairs of glasses. It would just be a blurry mess. So put on your own lens and look at it from your own perspective. Okay, there we go. All right, let me grab some of the decks that we've been using and you can vote on them. My goal today was to use some different ones and give you a chance to select them. So let's see here. So that we'll have the Druidcraft is the first one. Even though I have to pay close attention to Wands and Swords, I'll put Wild Unknown as one of them. The Field Tarot as well. And let me see what the final option might be. Let's see. You know what? I know you guys like the Green Witch, so I'll put that one there as well. Okay. So let me set up the poll and give you another chance to vote. All right, so Druidcraft, and don't worry, I'll show you some pictures while you're voting. Druidcraft Tarot, Wild Unknown Tarot. We have Field Tarot, and then we have the Green Witch Tarot. I don't do Osho Zen. I have it, but it's I see that question. It's crazy complicated because they've changed every suit and it gives me a headache. But I like using it for oracle cards, so I'll put it into rotation. Thank you for reminding me. All right, so let's go ahead and say, which deck would you like? All right, I'm sending that out for you guys to vote on. I'll show you a few sample cards while we're doing this. So option number 1, I'll focus on first. This is the Druidcraft. Wonderfully large cards, really cool energy. Basically, it's nice and earthy and bright. I don't use this all the time, but I do like it. So there you go. That's the Druidcraft. And then second option is the Wild Unknown, which is all sketched out, as you can see, mostly black and white, a little bit of color here and there. There you go for that one. It might be easier if I just keep it up like this. And then this is the Field Tarot, a little bit more sort of like flat illustrations, but more colorful. I do like this one. The only thing that's odd is like the minor arcana don't have people on them. They're just the pips, basically. And then we have the Green Witch Tarot, which seems to be popular. People vote for that a lot. Kind of similar sort of nature-based energy. So this one and this one are very close, but this one just has some bigger pictures. So there you go. And I don't use it all the time. I do like the bold colors too. All right, so let's see where we're at on the voting. We have a clear winner. You guys really love the Green Witch Tarot, don't you? Okay, I grabbed that at the end. I'm like, I think they like this one. So I'll let the poll finish up, and then we'll go and see what's coming through here. I'm always surprised. That's why I give you guys a chance to vote. And I tried not to pull all of the old usuals out. I kind of went shopping in my tarot decks for what was available. So yeah, Green Witch by 31%, a clear winner, won. Okay, great. Thank you for helping me choose. All right, let's get started here. So if you just joined, by the way, we're taking a look at our special topic. And the special topic today, as the title says, is to solve the blocks in your life, but to sow the seeds of abundance, okay? It is a beautiful deck. I do love all the colors and all the rich green and plants in this particular deck, so no complaints from me. You chose well. Well, basically, I chose decks that I liked. So I was like, I'm not going to read with anything that I don't like. So you were set up for success. All right. Oops. Okay, we had 2 cards that volunteered. I'm going to accept them. Okay, let me get a tissue and then I'll be right back and we'll get started here. All right. All right, so let's take a look at this again. We're going to look at sowing the seeds of abundance. Sowing as in putting seeds in the ground or energy in our life and kind of like allowing that to grow, doing the work that you need to kind of allow that to grow. So let's start with the first card here, the threshold. What a powerful image, what a powerful card. This is the catalyst. The way that a catalyst card works in the spreads that I lay out, it's basically, it can kick off the action like you would expect with something that's a catalyst. It can also keep us in that energy of movement and then in that momentum. So many of you may have landed on this sort of final straw or this epiphany, and you're now at this new threshold where you have to decide, do I stay? Do I go? And how quickly do I proceed? There's some big decisions in front of you. There's no wrong way to go about it with the threshold card. The thing that I would kind of impart on many of you is that it's so much more powerful for you to decide to take the initiative and to push, because it can help you avoid what could later be tower energy. So I would say for many of you right now, I would encourage you to go with what your heart is saying that you need to do, and it's going to bring you in the right place. And if you have just crossed the threshold of some sort of a major change or shift, I see it getting easier for you, okay? It's the initial step across the portal, right? That makes us feel kind of like discombobulated, a little bit of vertigo, a little bit sick, a little bit nervous. But once we get the other foot through, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm going to do with it. So give yourself some time. When we kind of like flash back to the weekly spread that I gave you, Monday is that day to be kind with yourself. Wednesday was when we had the Two of Wands, which was coming through and saying, this is how it was supposed to fit together. Now I understand. We have High Priestess energy smack dab in the center. She would nicely align with that Wednesday energy that we were talking about, which I love. So I would say focus on what you're receiving in dreams, in meditation, and within. Sowing the seeds here. This is basically saying not only can you do it, but the minute you decide to do it, you may see synchronicities open up quicker than you imagined they would open up. The only time that the High Priestess is disenfranchised or not her most powerful self is when she's reversed, because she sees and knows, but she doesn't follow through. So trust what you see and know, follow through. Also, don't doubt your power. That would be the other sort of reversal, the reason for a reversal. So someone in your life, I'm sure at some point, has told you that you weren't enough for something. You couldn't get onto a team. You couldn't get into a job. You were rejected for a date. Most of us experience some sort of a rejection somewhere along the line. Sometimes some of those hit a little harder, or the person says something that's a little cruel, and it can get into our head and we think that we're never going to be able to accomplish something. So High Priestess at the center here is saying, in order for you to manifest, not just now, but the evergreen portion always, or the timeless portion always, is to understand that you always have the power to learn, to grow, and to know more. So that's all you have to choose, is to learn, to know, and to grow. And if you're doing that, then you always have the High Priestess energy here, helping fuel you, helping moving you forward, okay? You are not alone. I've said this a few times. We've got the Six of Cups here. I highlighted the Two of Cups in my channel messages, but the Six of Cups is arguably better. Some interesting things with this particular illustration. Notice that he's holding the canary there. Can you see the canary in his bird cage? So I mentioned earlier that you may know something before someone else, even if, or especially if, it's a friend, a family member, or a partner in your life. You are holding the key there. You're the canary in the coal mine. Basically, miners used to keep canaries there, and if one of them died, then basically they knew that the air wasn't safe or whatever. So it's a phrase that just basically means the first to know. So you're the first to know or recognize something. Possibly even it can be advantageous or dangerous, because we're using that metaphor of the canary. So trust it. It's going to help you avoid trouble and maximize opportunity instead. Even those, or especially those who are closest to you, may not understand what you want to do. I was fortunate, like if I flash back to when I decided to do my career switch, my immediate family, like my mom and my dad at the time, which were living, they were supportive. My dad didn't get it as much, but my mom did. So it was nice to have parents that got it. But I had a lot of friends and family members that at the time thought, wait, you're doing what? And you're quitting that job for what? And I even had a family member once who said, what's next? What are you doing? What's your next job? I said, this is next, me quitting and starting something new in my life. And she thought I was a lunatic. So sometimes that energy enters in and that's their limits. I've been talking about a friend who had a conversation with me recently about lenses and lenses of perception. So what I would have said, then this version of me would have just said, thanks for your perspective. I don't share it, but I hear it, and I wasn't really asking for it either, but thank you for your perspective. And that's it. And usually someone will know that you really don't want to talk about it if you do it. It's just their insight, and you're acknowledging that you heard it, but that you might disagree, and then change the topic. And that's the best thing. You don't need to ask permission, everyone out there, to do whatever you want to do. You see it, you hold the key, and another way that we could look at this little bird is that it's asking or begging for liberation. So whenever I see a caged bird, I just think, I want that bird to fly. I want it to be free. So free yourself of the 8 of Swords, which is the prison card in tarot, limitation, mental prison, so that you don't have to sort of stay in that energy of uncertainty. Okay, so far so good. You have the power. You may see something before others see it. You hold the key to your freedom. Part of that freedom may be walking away from what's accepted, okay? We have the King of Pentacles here in the deep past. And the King of Pentacles is saying, you've done the work. It's giving you like a pass, like not like a pass to do something that you don't need to do, but like a check plus, an A plus, you passed your lessons, your experiences. I feel like some of you have also done a lot to please somebody else in your life. The King of Pentacles can be mom or dad or boss, someone who has that sort of authority energy, and they expected a lot of you, and they expect a lot still. But guess what? You've got your own path. We've got a very sort of Taurus-like symbol in the background, and for some of you, you may have a Taurus placement, by the way, that's coming through. That strength, that stubbornness, and the skills that you've gained are going to help you down any path that you face, any challenge that you have. Even if you're not Taurus, use that sort of energy of the bull to push through, remembering that we had the 10 of Wands. I feel like you're just really close to pushing through to success. So you don't have to please this one person anymore, and you can now access all of the sort of strength that you build up to get to where you're at and enjoy it. We have morning glory in the background, and since I love botany and flowers, a little fun fact about morning glory, I believe the flower only lasts for one day. And it's a super important message. Having just lost someone in my life recently, I'm glad that we spent a lot of time and I said what I needed to say when I had a chance. So I don't have that sense of regret. You always wish you had one more day though, right? Whenever, even if it's just sort of like you quit a job or you leave a relationship, or again, someone might pass away, you always think, if I could have said one more thing or one more this and that. So today, everybody out there, what's on your list where you're putting something and taking something for granted? So for today, I'll give Apollo an extra hug as he kind of wakes up in the background. We'll give him an extra hug, an extra snack, an extra walk, because today's a precious day with him and he's in my life, and I'm going to say, I love you, Apollo, right? So could be your dog. Give your dog an extra hug. Is there something that you want to finish, a project, and you're not putting enough energy into it? You still have today. If not today, you have tomorrow. Make some time. Do something that brings your heart joy, and then look back and think, I did everything I needed to do. I don't feel bad anymore. So there is a precious, finite, and limited amount of time and energy. Don't put it all on work. Don't put it all on success. Don't put it all on expectations externally, right? All of these things are important. And yes, for those of you saying self-love, give yourself an extra hug as well, okay? You're already in this energy of transition and expansion. What better card to pull but the World? One of my favorite cards in any deck. Usually one of the most beautiful cards too. I love nature-based imagery because invariably they choose to do a tree for this one. I think that Druidcraft also has a beautiful tree. They have like the 4 seasons on that card. But anyway, we have the World tree here, or the World, and we see all of this energy of transition. Here we see it from night and day, or 2 different worlds. And it's so interesting because it's basically the threshold all over again, right? So you're being pushed through to the next level, to that threshold. I think the card was reversed here. So what I would say with the World card in reverse, or just the World in general, it doesn't matter if it's reversed or upright, is the understanding that, yes, I'm overwhelmed. Yes, there's a lot going on. But isn't this what I signed up for when I was born into this planet? Especially if you're manifesting something good. Let's say, you put down an offer on a house and they chose you, not the other person. Then you're like, oh my God, I got to sign the dotted line. Or that you signed up for a scholarship and they chose you. Sometimes it's good surprise and it can still be overwhelming. Or someone proposes to you and you've been wanting to get married for a long time, but now it's like, oh my God, now I'm gonna have, all these things that are gonna change. Am I ready for the change? You're ready for the change. It's just a matter of pushing through the threshold energy and realizing that it's gonna be okay. If there's valid fears on this, like for some reason that person isn't supporting the you that you need to be, well, then that's a reason to take pause. But by and large, we see some positive movement here at the center. And honestly, many of you are already 1.5 steps through the portal. You have just half a step to go. So it's just maybe the internal acceptance. Oftentimes when I read for people and they're having difficulty in finding love or getting a promotion or finding opportunities, if I pull, invariably there'll be a card like Judgment or Justice that pop up, reversed. I can tell that the one piece of integration that's missing is acceptance. The World can be one of them too, but not usually. It's just sort of like, have you stepped through the change yet? Have you accepted that? Let's move on to the next card. In the crowning position, we have the Moon. We have a little bit of Piscean energy here with this Moon card because the fish is popping out of the lake here. So here's what I like about the Moon. It gets a bad rap sometimes, but that's a very peaceful Moon there. So the Moon card is the subtlest, softest, most basic instinct that we have and basic intuition that we have to do something, to know what's right, to know where we should be going. I feel like if it's meant to be this month, it's going to be that easy for you to just feel it. When you have pivotal decisions in front of you, invariably, there's this sort of like, we call it, it's a gut instinct, but it's your intuition. You know on a core level, yes or no. I just want you to lean into the yes or no. Because I keep saying it today, but it's important. It will not lead you astray. The Moon card does beg us to look at the stuff that could be making us feel afraid, could be triggering us to act out. There could be someone in your life that also has done things that you don't understand. The Moon card is about going into the hopes and the fears and all of those sort of deeper things that we're afraid to talk about and understand them. So it's a good time for you to work through emotional blocks in your life. Talk to a therapist, talk to a friend, talk to somebody. But I feel like you can actually overcome those. The positive side says, I know what to do. And then it also is showing you the way to creatively solve something. So dreams are, again, very powerful with the Moon and with the Four of Swords. So open yourself up and see what the universe is see what your higher self is trying to show you. Accountability and truth are important, and the Moon can be a little tricky in those respects. So try to be honest with yourself, most important thing. And if someone else is being dishonest with you, bring that into the light. With the Moon, there is a chance to heal versus the Seven of Swords or the Devil. So you just want to be as honest as you can with one another. As we take a look at what's going on with you, we have the Three of Pentacles. Beautiful card, reverse, but let's take a look at it. So the upright card is about recognition, graduation, basically finally finishing something that you set out to do. The reversal of this is putting too much energy and too much power into the person that's giving the award or giving the acceptance. So validation should start within. Easier said than done, I know, but it should. Saying, I value what I do. I feel good about what I've done. I feel like I put 110% in. And whether or not I get the gold star, the shiny trophy, the title after my name, the plaque on my door, whatever it is that you're looking for, on a soul level, I'm okay. And I mention this, and I keep mentioning what's going on because it is important to just kind of like relay things that I'm going through as well. But when you pass, your soul goes into review, and you review your life. You get to see your life. So realize that externally, we may have teachers, bosses, friends, family members that are giving us grades, that are judging us, that are somehow putting an arbitrary gold star on our life. When you die, your soul meets with guides and angels and ultimately with itself and filters all the experiences. You get to see it from other people's perspectives. You get to feel everything, and you get to review and think, how did I do? You're the only one that matters in this. I'm telling you now so you don't have to wait until soul review. So review yourself now in the living realm here and decide, is this enough? Should I do more of this? How do I feel about that? Then when you go to the other side, many, many, many years later, hopefully, you'll think, God, thank goodness I did that. This is easy. I'm ready for the next thing, okay? And you can ace that test up in the sky. So that's my goal for you, is to just, you're on this planet with one curriculum only, and that is soul expansion and heart expansion. Love is the universal currency. The knowledge and experiences we can take with us as well. So it's third eye and heart, all that stuff goes back up into the ethers. Clothing, money, titles, doesn't matter. So how are you working on your life lesson? And if you haven't slowed down enough to decide, who am I? What do I want to do with the time given? And how do I want to leave a lasting impact, if that is part of your goal for the ones that remain? Then that is your homework over the course of the next week or month or however long it takes. And it doesn't have to come immediately. And you're the only one that can answer that question. I can't. You have to decide, what brings me joy? What makes me feel better? Do I like seeing other people feel better? Do I want to do more of that? So this card is coming through saying you have everything that it takes. You'll get the external validation, but make sure that it matches your internal validation too. And I love that we see sort of like the cycle of life here. From the moon card, now we have that little fish being eaten here by the bird here. So we see the ability now to basically cycle through something new in your life, okay? So I feel like you're set up for success. It just has to be internal and external, okay? If you want to go back to school, do it. Let me just bring this down for a second here. So Three of Pentacles is often a collegiate or academia card. And again, all those sort of soul lessons that might be coming through, they can also come through academically as well. So if you decide to study something, these two cards together show that it's going to be a nice connection and it will stick. So Three of Pentacles and Eight of Cups, that is a cycle that will last. So yes, good time for training, good time for school, good time for starting something new. And also for those of you that want to publish like a curriculum or a book or something of that nature, good time for that as well. Let's move on to the Eight of Cups here that I just pulled out. Eight of Cups is making and breaking cycles. So around you, in your environment right now, there are a few things that would be indicated by the Eight of Cups. There was this old song by Carly Simon, Coming Around Again. So that's what this is. It's coming around again, an opportunity. If you had a chance that escaped you, maybe in a relationship for love, maybe in a certain job that you're applying for, maybe to just do something impactful with your life. If you put it on the back burner, it's coming back like a merry-go-round. This time you can pull it and do something with it. Grab it and say, I'm gonna take advantage of this portal. So second chances. Some of you need to take a sabbatical. Remember my air signs out there where I said it's time for a break? For some of you to be able to manifest, this is what's necessary. When I was at that precipice in deciding, should I stay, should I go for my job, I did explore the opportunity of a sabbatical. But of course, the company that I worked at wanted to own all of the work that I did during the sabbatical. And I said, well, then you're forcing me to quit. But I explored the option. And then I was happy that I quit because I really didn't intend on coming back. I was ready. So look at a sabbatical, but also look at why are you doing the sabbatical? Make sure that you're really that torn that you think you might want to come back. This is also the card of open doors. So some of you may just want to leave an open door and say, I feel really passionate about doing this. Let's keep in touch. Things may change in the future. That's a little bit more decisive than a sabbatical. That's saying, no, I'm done now, but who knows where I'll be in 10 years? Let's keep in touch, or 5 years, or 5 months. But that gives you freedom to decide, and it tells them, we need to focus on something else. This person is immediately not going to be able to fill our needs. 8 of Cups is unfinished business or loose ends or an open door. So in order to get to the next phase, you're going to have to decide if that's a revolving door, an open door, if you're ready to close it. Because as long as it's open, it remains sort of like this, it's almost like a little low-level piece of your energy gets siphoned out. So your battery, like in modern terms, we would think of our phone. If we keep the notifications on at night, it uses up the battery and it's lighting up. Most of us put on Do Not Disturb while it's charging, so it's doing that, or we just turn it off or whatever. So same mentality goes here. If you've got all these notifications and you're connected to this one thing, then it's tagging your energy. So there's an open door for you to better manifest, for you to sow the seeds of success. One of the things that you have to do is successfully close chapters and pick up on old things and finish them. Tie up the loose ends, okay? Moving on to your hopes, fears, and your opportunities, also connected to the moon card where your head is at. So this card's really important because a lot of you are focusing on this. Lo and behold, we have the 4 of Cups, which I talked about. This 4 of Cups could be love, it could be friendship, it could be another opportunity. We see someone else at the door knocking. And I'm okay with her being discerning, but I would say also open yourself up to different experiences. It could also be, since it's reversed, denying someone else's fears, projections of failure, etc. Because I mentioned that the 4 of Cups doesn't have to be you. It can be an actor in your life, a party in your life. So someone around you is like, I don't think so. But you know it's to be a certain way. So you're going to disregard that. And that's why she's sitting here thinking, when is that person going to stop talking and let me get back to my work? I'm happy. I got these 3 cups. I don't need that rejection. And I don't care if you don't see it from my perspective. So sometimes the 4 of Cups can be our friend if you want to tune it out. But I would say, make sure that you're looking at all options, because with this one, sometimes the obvious gets ignored. So if something keeps coming up, it's something that you need to focus on, okay? If it's an external fear or projection from someone else, you can ignore it. And by and large, I'm not that worried about it because of its placement. All right, so let's go ahead and look at your outcome card. And we have a lovely Page of Swords here. As I was pulling it, I felt like this dagger go through my thumb energetically. So for some of you, there is this sort of feeling of, how am I going to be able, I'm looking at like an opposing thumb, so it's opposition that the guides are kind of telling me. So you may be afraid of what someone is going to say, how you might stand up to somebody, okay? What I like about this Page of Swords, because we're looking at a magic deck here basically, is she's invoking her power. And so somebody can say something critical, someone can do something critical, but all you have to do is call on the power within and that higher self and realize, I have exactly what it takes to sort this out. I'm going to surprise them and stand up and say, excuse me, what was that? And well, here's what my thoughts are on this. And you're just going to stand in your power. Aside from all of that, a Page of Swords is fantastic for delivering messages. So public speaking, I mean, any of the swords will be good, but the Page is good because it's reading the nonverbal, like I said. So you're very good conduit right now to be able to send and receive messages. You have the wisdom, just like we saw earlier with the owl here, it's coming up again. You have the wisdom to choose your words wisely. So use those words wisely, take action, and lead by example, even though it's Page of Swords, maybe not like a knight or a queen, and it's not wands. They're still leading with the actions as well, okay? Let's go ahead now and move into the expanded forecast. So the expanded forecast includes health, wealth, love, and destiny. When I do the special topic, as I'm doing right now, I like to look at these basically as amplifiers. So how is this either amplifying or holding you back from this? So let's start with health. Health, and comparing that with abundance and sowing the seeds to be abundant. So can your health help you or block you from doing this? All right, so your health card is raising your vibration. And look at it's really the solar plexus, right? That's kind of shining through a little bit of the heart center as well. So raising your vibration. Some of you can focus on better health. Standard disclaimers always apply when I'm reading health. I'm not a doctor, I'm looking at the energy. But a lot of times how we feel affects how we are. And that's my approach on this channel. So obviously work with professionals before you change anything in your diet or exercise or mental health regimen. But that being said, let's look at what you can do to get yourself pushed in the right direction. So vibration, fancy word for how you approach the world, because it's all cognitive really. Vibration boils down to, what do I think? How am I interpreting it? It's the gray matter here. So focus on looking at it from a different perspective and thinking about how to best deal with what's in front of you. Not, what if I would have done this? Why didn't this happen? Why is this always happening to me? Instead, think, all right, I learned this. I don't want to do this again, and I'm going to do this and try something different. Raise the frequency by looking at it and deciding to make the necessary changes. You can't do the same old in your health this month. So I'm talking about mental and emotional health. Something has to shift because what worked before may not work anymore. Or you're going to stagnate, and we don't want that stagnation to come through. So try something different and try something that amps up what we're seeing in the solar plexus: strength, power, core beliefs. All of that is going to help you be stronger. Focusing on the core, also really important. So some of you may feel inspired to, do some mat-based exercises to kind of work on that core. Again, always working with your doctor before making a change. Focusing now on the general messages here from the cards when it comes to healthy approaches to health and healthy outlooks overall. Now is the time to make the change. 8 of Cups, like I said, it will stick. Whatever you want to change has a chance to sort of be a consistent change in your life. The World card in reverse says a change of environment could do you good. You don't have to move to enter into the energy of the World card. You could decide to just redecorate, to replace some furniture, to clean out the closets and donate some things to charity. All of those things would constitute that sort of world energy. When you change your environment, you change your life, you change your perspective, you change the energy. Even a fresh coat of paint can make that sort of an impact. Pay attention to fluids in your system. So fluid retention can be part of the moon. It can also affect the urinary tract, reproductive systems. Pay special attention to that. We typically tend to not talk about those things because it makes us uncomfortable or whatever. So if you haven't been to the doctor in a while, this is a good reason to go and make sure that they check out all of that. Otherwise, your cards are actually pretty good. Everything that I'm seeing here, I'm not worried about anything that I'm looking at right now. It does appear to be more of a mental and an emotional shift and a regaining of power coming through and kind of like reclaiming who you are and what you want. So I like what I see across the board with health. You probably know what it is that you need to focus on, so acknowledge that. Ignoring something is the only thing that's going to get you into trouble. So if you feel an ache or a pain, or if you feel something that has been persisting and you just feel like you need to talk to a doctor about that. Otherwise, everything's looking pretty solid. Okay, so I'm happy with what I see. Let's move on from health to wealth. We have the crocodile here, and the crocodile's reversed. One of the interesting things with the crocodile energy, if I think of this for wealth, a few different things would come to mind. Cutting someone off, snapping, right? Having a momentary snap. I've been there, we've all been there, because sometimes when you're going through great stress, when you're emotionally very much attached to an outcome, when you're just having a bad day, it happens. Be mindful of that when it comes to money, resources, people that you love in your life, because all of that crocodile energy could get in the way. I've studied both crocodiles and alligators as a totem. There's an amazing amount of pressure that goes down when they chew on something. So those words can really cut deep. So take a pause, sleep on something if you need to, really articulate yourself carefully this month so that you can avoid that. What I do like about the crocodile is when you see one, you know there's power there and you're not going to get in the way. So as a leadership card, sure, be the crocodile. You just don't have to snap. Sometimes it's just how you hold yourself. There's certain people that walk into a room, a boss or a world leader, and you look at them and you're like, okay, that person means business. So step into a room, hold your posture in such a way that people feel like you know who you are, use a good tone of voice, and go for it. We don't really want to be talking like this, trying to have a difficult conversation. You want to make sure that people can hear you, right? So use your volume, use your posture, and use your words. And that's where the crocodile can be a strong sort of energy for you. It's posturing that really is coming through. If there's someone in your midst that is a crocodile, which could also be a devil card for all intents and purposes too, you may not want to cross certain paths. So there may be a better person to work with than that, because they also carry with them the Five of Swords and the devil energy. You can't win, and you may not want them to kind of like snap back, okay? This is not a good or a bad sort of totem. I don't put that on animals or insects, but it is a tricky one. And so you have to be mindful. Be very aware, be very awake, and be very mindful of how you kind of progress when it comes to money and work this month. All right. Biting off more than you can chew. I'm not that worried with a crocodile. So I feel like when it comes to manifesting and sowing seeds of abundance, you can actually manage a lot, because all the things that I just talked about tell me that the crocodile can absolutely manage anything that it decides to bring into its life. Okay. Sort of looking just at the cards for money matters. First of all, I feel very good about money matters this month. I see recognition happening here with the Three of Pentacles. And I think that people are really interested in your creativity. They may not understand it, but they're very interested in what you're doing and what you have to say. It's not your job to necessarily walk them through how everything works, but that's one of the things that they're kind of looking for. I think I neglected to talk about the Queen of Wands here, so I want to just take a pause and talk about the Queen of Wands for a moment, because it really does sit nicely with the work message, and I think it's also just important overall. So the Queen of Wands card is a boss card. So when it comes to anything in your life in this moment in time, you can do it. Like I said before, with limited resources, she can still find abundance. She's quite powerful. So even though your title may be page, your energy is that of the Queen. And this is near future. This is something that's happening right now. Your leadership's going to pay off. So I really feel like it's important to lead by example and put out whatever ideas you have. They are coming from source. High Priestess, now Queen of Wands. And it's a big shift. Some of you want to shake up the tree a little bit and try something new. Go for it. Go for it. You may also be in a place where people don't allow you to kind of voice that. So there is a sort of gentle nudge here to see if that's enough for you. Okay. But looking at money and opportunities, it feels good. Good leadership, good recognition opportunities. If you have a small business, Eight of Cups is a really good card for return interest in what you're doing. Trust is going to be the hardest thing across all of your wealth this month. So making sure that you really can let someone into your life and share with them these sort of things that bring about your wealth and abundance. That's the only sort of cautionary note. Vet out your partnerships. The eyes don't lie. Remember what I said before. You'll be able to tell if someone's really the right match for you, okay? But a chance to expand, a chance for recognition, a chance to do something and see it stick. You couldn't ask for much more than that. I really like it. Okay, let's move on to relationships. Two cards came through, the Fish and the Gate. And I feel like the whole thing that we're doing today is to open up the gateway. Let's look at the Fish first. So, I always like to break down relationships after this, but we'll talk about the the card first, the expanded forecast card. So the fish keeps coming through a few times. There might be Pisces in your chart, Pisces in your environment. Pisces is somewhere. But the fish is coming through to say you are flexible and you're going to have the ability to go in any direction that you need to, because the fish can go up, down, back, forwards, whatever. It can even go against stream. So there's really more of a choice from you on which way do I go. And this isn't in a school of fish. This one is kind of on its own. So maybe for the first time in a while, you're either faced with that independence where you have to make a decision, or you just feel the impetus to try it on your own. You can do it. That's basically what the fish is saying. You're flexible, you're nimble, you can go in any direction. Where do you want to go? The gateway says, or the gate rather, says that you are opening up a gateway, and there is a little bit of immediacy to this decision as well. So we talked in the deep past about the morning glory, one day only, sort of flowering. So this gate may not be around forever. So whether it's days, weeks, or months, it's in that timeline, not years. So that's why if you have to take a pause or a sabbatical or some sort of a shift or a change right now, it's important to do that, because this is going to be a gateway to something amazing in your life. So we're looking at this in the energy of relationships. If you've been single, we see a gateway towards love. For some of you, it could be a water sign, particularly a Pisces. For those of you in a relationship, there may be something new that you and or your partner want to experience. The question is really, are you both on the same page? Are you going down that same path? Or are you at a fork in the road? And that's what we're going to look at. All right, so we're going to break it down into 3 different categories. Those that are partnered, those that are looking for partnership, those that are single and happy. Partnership can include business partnerships too, or the person whom you spend the most time with, because it is love with a capital L. But if you're in a relationship and you want to look at it for love, for sure, that's what we're looking at now. Presenting energy at the center. So a higher calling is what we see with the High Priestess. A deep soul connection, many would call this like soulmate connection. So some of you have been with a soulmate. There's something coming through energetically for you or the soulmate that's going to require a shift. This is a big shift. Some of you may see the shift manifesting in the form of a sale of property, a new job, a transfer, things of that nature. So external forces that are tugging a little bit on the two of you. As long as you're honest, you'll be okay. It's good to see one or both of you succeed, and it may be inconvenient. Remember, I said there's an inconvenience to relationships this month. If you're in one, there could be a change that happens, and it's like, why now? But what I like about this is the communication and the sort of being able to talk it through. That's going to be the important thing. See it from their perspective, the mental perspective. So I feel like you can work it out. There is definitely a boss, though, in this relationship. There's someone who calls the shots a little bit more than the other. And so just keep the communication open. This is the boss card, even if there was no other sort of, or if there was a bunch of other court cards, she's still the one that usually calls the shots. So I see one person taking the lead. So you're just gonna have to find a way to have a little bit of back and forth, talk about what you're afraid of, and ease into change. Change is the common thread here across all relationships, but in new relationships, in existing ones, change is hard because you get settled in. You can't get more settled than the King of Pentacles of house and home. He just likes to be comfortable. But there's a shakeup happening here a little bit. Walk yourself through that change, and I think you'll be okay. For those of you that are looking for love this month, yeah, absolutely, you can find love. Here's what's tricky. Some of you need to let the dust settle. Some of you may be holding back a little bit from what's going on in your life. So you might be stopping one thing and starting a new thing, and you think to yourself, who am I when I meet this person? How do I tell them who I am? Well, just tell them that you're in that process of moving from one thing to another. Sometimes we overcomplicate things, and simple is the best. So just tell them where you're at in your life. The energies that are coming through, you have more than one option here. In the near future, we have a strong fire sign, and we also have an air sign here kind of later, whether it's later in the month or later in the year, because this can be timeless. That's what I kind of see here. For you, what I want you to focus on to be able to deal with this person that's coming in is, even if it's not the right timing, is it everything you dreamed of? If it is, so be it. The universe a lot of times gives us stuff when we don't want it. And that's how it works. Births and deaths work the same way. Something coming into your life, whether it's a baby or love or a project or a transfer, when it's meant to be born, it's born. When it's meant to leave, it leaves. So you have an inconvenient time, but you have more than a couple options. So know who you are, know what you want, and that's going to help you out. There could be someone from the past coming back in. It could be deep, like AKA past lifetimes past, or this lifetime, because we have both represented. And it could be a combination of the two. It could be someone that you used to know, a best friend, an old love, and by the way, you knew them before, because I got both markers for past. So there's something from the past that's coming through, and it's going to play an important role in this relationship. That's why I want you to kind of sort out your karma so you're in a good place. But yes, you can find love, and you have plenty of options, and it's sooner than later. You're busy. You got a lot going on. Again, I feel like when you least expect it, it'll happen between, I would say, like 3 to 4 months here with the Four of Cups. Okay? So there you go. And now if you're single and happy, what's going on for you? Well, you actually might be manifesting a partnership. All of you are capable of doing this right now because this is manifestation, this is partnership. Deep connection with this person because of the 2 past life markers that I got. Only thing that I would say to be mindful of for all relationships is there is a lesson to be played out. The sooner you can get the karmic lesson out, the sooner it can just be a love or a friend or someone in your life. So there's a little bit of karma to be resolved across all different aspects of relationships. But once that's done, it seems like it's a pretty good connection. Those of you that are single and happy, the focus seems to be on work. You might be traveling a little bit. Again, inconveniently, something could pop up during this period where you still hit it off with somebody. But your big opportunity this month is accomplishment with work, finishing something and getting recognized if you would like to. So good energy across the board when we're looking at love and relationships. Let's take a look at this card here, which is in your Destiny card. I believe that destiny is malleable. And I'm looking at this particular whip card, and it reminds me of Medusa. And I don't know why I was reading on Medusa yesterday, reading up on her, but I was. She was unjustly punished. She's one of the 3 Gorgons. And basically, one of the gods sort of like had his way. I think it was Poseidon. And she didn't want any parts of it. And I think she went into the Temple of Athena. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, she was punished for no reason. So what this represents to me for some of you is overcoming an injustice. Because I'm looking at the Medusa energy plus the whip, and it's like unnecessarily, literally it's unnecessary punishment. So when you know the myth of Medusa, it makes a little bit more sense why she combined the two. So I'll give you a few things to think about. First of all, karmic justice and then everyday justice work at different speeds. Trust that karmic justice always has a way of working its way out. It may be in this lifetime, it may be in others, but when it does, it's worse than any sort of everyday judgment because it's going to make you experience things from the other perspective. So you don't have to judge or enact that sort of justice on someone else if they've given some sort of negative treatment toward you. You, in fact, want to go into the reverse and show the right path. So you have a moment to undo karma. And let me tell you why I'm kind of going through this long tirade here, but some of you are already in the justice phase because this would be an injustice. This is justice served. So what's happening karmically for you is someone that's in your charge or someone that depends on you or someone that you could affect. In the past life, they took something from you and now they may be acting up again, but you have the power to help or to hurt and you're going to help instead or you're going to release instead because we can't always help someone that doesn't want to be helped. So the way that this could play out is like some of you could be the boss of someone who in a past life stole your money. So you have the power over their success and you want to act with grace and justice this time. And if they've done a good job, you promote them, even in a past life if they didn't do it. Or if they're acting the fool now, you could take them down, but you may just transfer them to someone else. You may do something of that nature. If you are married to someone, and maybe it could be your partner, it could be a child, the same thing could be going on. They depend on you for support. So you're not going to let them down when they need your support, but you're also not going to let them get away with something. So you act kindly, you act correctly, and then you release that person as soon as you can. It's harder you can't really do it if it's a child, but if it's a friend, if it's a coworker, if it's someone in the extended family, you can just let the lesson go and then stop investing in that energy. But even as a child or a parent, at a certain point, sometimes those can be toxic relationships. So when you're old enough to decide, you can also say, I've done enough now, and that person doesn't have power over me anymore. I reclaim my power. I'm not going to punish them. I'm not going to punish myself. I'm putting this energy to bed. Karmic relationships give you the power when you were the victim. That's actually the beauty of this. In future lifetimes, you'll always get that chance to see it, to do it differently, and to teach them, because on a soul level, not only do they see your kindness, but they feel immense remorse for some reason, like because it's like, gosh, why I've been doing this, and then they did this, and it blows their mind. So that's the best quote unquote revenge, is to not take revenge, but to lead by example, to change the world and make it better, and to walk away free, karmically free, because you didn't do anything to them. You taught them the lesson of kindness, love, and forgiveness. It's not about getting even. They're experiencing all of this stuff, and they will in future lifetimes as well. So do as much kindness as you can. Put the whip down. Stop punishing people that shouldn't be punished anymore too, including yourself. Sometime I'll do a little, I'll bring Medusa into the totem, because again, she's an interesting figure that gets misunderstood. She wasn't a monster. She was punished for no reason. So no more punishment. Okay? Cool. That's an interesting sort of energy to look at there. So we're going to move on to, it's not in here, but I'm going to pull a big idea card, and then we'll get into the meditation, just to kind of like pull us back into what we were talking about. All right, so big idea. The big idea gives us a chance to really focus on answering my initial question. I think I've done it in many different ways today, but we're going to focus on sowing the seeds of abundance. Is there one thing that you could do today, this week, and this month to make sure that you bring more abundance into your life? And yes, to answer your question, no more punishing of self either. All right, so back to my point here. What can you do to bring about more abundance in your life? So, this actually came through for our air signs. So a great message for air signs and for everybody. But we have the Four of Swords. And it is saying a multitude of things. It's saying what was, like in the past is in the past. So all that we were just talking about with the whip has to do with this, like putting things to rest. It's about giving yourself a chance to rest and integrate in this life, not just in sort of like your life review. It's saying I'm going to take a break and take stock of what matters to me so I can see what's next. And it's also letting this next step, manifestation, not just manifestation, but like opening up the abundance, be easy. Because if you want it too much, if you want something too quickly, if you fixate or obsess on it to a degree that it's all that you focus on, it will not come. Not in the way, shape, or form that you originally were trying to manifest it. When you are at peace with who you are, what you've done, and you trust, then it just comes into your life naturally. So my single piece of advice that I would give you for manifestation is to take a break after you've done all the work that we've talked about and let it go. Not like I'm giving up on it, but just say, okay, I did it. I'm ready. I'm looking. And then focus on doing something else and kind of keep an eye open and look around you, because then the universe knows they truly are ready, because it's not their top priority. They've set up everything into alignment, and now we're going to push the gateway open and say, uh-oh, here it is. And so you're still going to have that moment of, even though you manifested it, there's a little bit of inconvenience about this. Something that you love or someone that you love, it's coming inconveniently quicker or slower than you want. So by taking a break, you're going to be able to deal with that inconvenience a little bit better. Okay? That was a great piece of advice, and I hope that helps you out. Before we go to the very final portion of the reading, just a couple of notes here. If you've been able to chat, then you're subscribed. If you can't chat, you can hit the subscribe button. That's something that I added here just to kind of help people understand that there's a benefit to subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. It just gives you a chance to live chat with me, and it helps the channel grow. Please like this video once if you haven't. It will allow for other people to discover it. Share as well if you can to your social media platforms as well, just so that people just hit the share button here. And then hit the bell icon if you would like future notifications. Reminders can always be found on social media. Dakota listed that earlier, and I pinned the link, and it's still up there if you need it. Thank you to everybody who's given back with Super Chats and Super Stickers. You still have a chance while I'm going through the meditation. And if you ever need my live schedule, it's always on my website. So we're going to enter into an important piece next, which is the meditation and the final card, which follows it. The meditation sets us up to receive that final card, and the final card can be an answer to a question that you have for me, but I haven't had a chance to answer. So if there's some sort of burning question in your life right now, don't type it out. Simply write it down, keep it in your heart, keep it in your head, whatever. We'll meditate together, and I'll take a look at it. For today's meditation, so many beautiful things here. I want to work with water. I like the fish. I like the energy of being free in the water, so we're going to do that. Before I get set up, I'll give you a chance to choose the instrument that I'll play for the singing, or for the sound bowl, rather. I have a singing bowl, and I have a crystal ball. Crystal ball. I also do have a crystal ball, but I have a crystal pyramid. All right, so either one of these is fine, whichever comes to your mind that you want to hear. All right, so there you go. I've put it out for you to vote on. And we're going to focus now on the meditation. So I ask of you just simply to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath with me. On the inhale, I want you to imagine that you're really pulling in all of the light and energy from the sun above you, the sweet smell of spring or summer, that beautiful smell of like flowers and everything just kind of coming into your life, growth and abundance. And on the exhale, let go of anything that you don't need or want in your life. Imagine that you have the capacity to shapeshift, like, one of the gods of old. And you're standing at the pier looking at the water in front of you. As you take a leap into the water, imagine that you turn into the aquatic animal of your choice, something that can breathe underwater. So maybe it's going to be a whale or a fish or a shark or an octopus. I don't care. You can be a merman or a merwoman as well, whatever it is that you want to be. See yourself as an aquatic swimming creature. And I want you to just for a moment feel how free it is to be sort of released from the gravity of being on the planet. Just like when you're in the pool, you can float a little bit. So feel this sense of, finally, I don't feel the weight of the world on my back. I can go any direction that I choose. I'm free to decide. I'm free to move in any direction. Nobody's judging, nobody's caring. And maybe I'm just going to drift for a while in the ocean and see what beauty awaits for me. At some point, you notice this beautiful swirling energy beneath the ocean. It's not it's not sort of like anything of the ocean or of this world. It's sort of like this beautiful circle of light that's in front of you. And you can see another world on the other side of this. So what I would love for you to do is to swim around that a few times. Think of all the things that you've enjoyed, all the things that you've liked, all the things that you want to become, and then choose to move through that portal and leave behind the trappings of fear, of anxiety, and of doubt. And then as you step into the new you, bring only the light, bring only the freedom that we're experiencing here, and then we'll look at your final question that you have for me. I'm going to play the crystal pyramid, so just relax and enjoy as I do that, and then I will rejoin you when we're ready to look at that final question. As you take a deep breath, I want you to realize that you have everything that it takes to succeed. Like the magician, all you have to do is choose to accept, choose to embrace, and choose to embark upon the path that you've opened up. At this moment, I'd like you to come back into your mind, come back into your body, take a nice deep breath. You can rub your hands together and put them on your heart, honoring what you've seen, honoring what you know, and now focusing your intention and your question on whatever it is that you need some additional insight on. Hold that question inside. Let me just take a look at it, meditate on it, and then we'll pull one last card to see what the message is. So we have the King of Cups, which is a great final card here. This is showing a yes to a question that's a yes/no. The key to the happiness and to the success of whatever your question might be is something I say a lot, but to follow the heart. Let's break down the King of Cups on a couple of other levels here. First of all, I love that we see all the little bees around him. It's going to be a busy period for you. And I would say one of the things that's most important for you during this time is to keep your wits about you, to keep focused, and to embrace the busy energy, because as I've been saying, you have the capacity and the wherewithal to make it happen. You just have to push yourself through it. Sleeping is going to be important wherever you get that opportunity or that chance to sleep. Definitely do that. Also, as we're looking at this, is to maybe share what you have with others, share your gifts, share your ideas, share the bounty. A lot of times the King cards can be a little bit selfish. So if there's someone in your life that has more than enough, maybe remind them that, there's a chance now to give back. Maybe you want to do some service for others, but there's a chance to share. Sharing the load as well is going to be important so that you don't have to do all of this, because there can be a control freak energy that comes through with the King cards. So the bees remind us of the importance of breaking down responsibility. There's a hierarchy, they work as a team, and the King of Cups could just as well be the Queen Bee if you need to look at it in that way. But you're the Queen Bee, but you have a lot of people that work with you, depend on you as well. So find a way to kind of like work within that. Good time for love. This can be a signal of love that's coming in and love that's very much interested in what you have to offer. But I think that so much of what we're looking at today is about other types of manifestation that I feel like, and other types of growth. You've got to work on yourself first, but yes, love is availing itself if you're looking for it. It's a good card. Creativity, love, kindness, warmth. King of Cups is one of the best court cards you can pull. It's definitely a yes. But the busy energy that I'm seeing with the bees is going to be part of it. And the teamwork or hierarchy is going to be an important piece as well. Okay, so there you go. Good final card for today. Thank you so much to everybody who showed up today, especially Dakota, who has been helping kind of moderate this solo and doing a fantastic job. I appreciate you, Dakota. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, joined me on social media, or given back today. I'd like to take a couple of moments here before I close just to call out those who joined today or gave a super sticker or super chat. Thanks for sticking around as well. All right, while I'm doing this and pulling this up, I did put video reminders, but I will be doing Leo, Virgo, and Libra this week on Monday, Thursday, and Friday, respectively. So I'll put the Libra video up for a reminder later today, but the first two are already there. I'm always live every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday, so it's a pretty predictable schedule. So there you go. All right, let's take a look at some of the new members here, just welcoming anybody that's joined in the past day or so. Starting with Trish Perez, thank you so much, brand new channel member there. Same thing with Nina Early, and welcome back to Anita S. And then Maminka, I think it is Meadors. Welcome, brand new channel member. And then I recognize this person from yesterday, Adapts Training. So I think that's everybody from the past couple of days. Welcome. And now for anybody who gave a super sticker or a super chat today, let's just call that out and then we'll wrap up for today. Okay, so today's contributors are Cass Darrow, thank you for kicking things off. Lisa Watson, thank you very much as well. Charlene Fox, thanks for that really that great. That's a wonderful contribution. I appreciate it. Andrea G, thank you as well. Isabella, Jamila, Brittany Davis, Misha, also very generous. Thank you. Raquel or Rachel Wilson, thank you. Elizabeth Quigley, Cindy Toshik, is it Geese de Villiers? Thank you very much. Pardon if I said it wrong. Sita Marley, let's see, Kim Kreider, Michelle DePoy, Missy Kavanaugh, Carrier, thank you. Wendy Wright, Raven, let's see, Adrian Wagner, Nechma, I don't know how you say that, but thank you very much. Kak Lee, Danny Lawson, JC, Kathy Ahern, AB, Deborah Garut, let's see, Tatiana Garcia, Holly R, Shauna F, Malika, thank you, Thivya Nanda Kumar, the Amba, let's see here, Laura Hussein, Mahima Lalit, Lena 214, Lucy Rodriguez, Jeannie Hart, Jules in July, Crystal McKnight, Cheryl Beam, Tracy Lynn, Robin Redman, Diane, and Laura M. Martin. I saw there were a couple of other ones here, so I'll make sure I say them before I wrap up. Melanie Schaefer, let's see, Laura, I can't read the last name here, but Laura M., thank you so much because it got cut off. Thank you for all of the big and small contributions today. It really does help me do what I'm doing, and I'll take a look at some of the decks that I can maybe get some new rotation in here, but I appreciate it. Really appreciate you. Glad you like the lilies. They're all fresh and new in the background. One was a gift and the other one I got just because we're around Easter, and the lily is one of my favorite flowers to kind of have. Very sweet if you have them. I have to kind of like open the windows when these lilies are here, but they're beautiful. Anyway, I'll see everybody back again this week. Like I said, I'll be back tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, and you can see the schedule on my website. Have a great weekend, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. Lots of love and light from Apollo and I. I'm going to take that little guy on his walk, and we'll see you soon. All right, bye-bye.